got it?
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready?
It's flashing red.
Yep. Each person can come in front now.
Hello.
Little token wave and then
I
have a
see her.
seat.
That's all you gotta do. That's it. Watch the fan. You don't want to get your head for it. Okay.
Would anybody like a nice 100% pure glass of oil? Well, that's what the people are down there along the Gulf Coast region are right now getting served. Basically what I want to do is to try to share some information here with you concerning the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico as a result of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig that exploded. In order to present a clear picture of the situation we're dealing with, I'll present facts of the wildlife and the communities directly affected by the incident, as well as the economic impact of our main seafood resources. Some of the following depictions are gruesome, sad, and tough to stomach. But this is real, and it's the only true sense of reality that I can present of this factual information. So the first thing I'd like to do is show you a YouTube video that I found and of the wildlife casualties while I read some of these startling numbers concerning the wildlife casualties themselves. So I'll just go ahead and start this video. Now, I found an article recently that was released through the Associated Press. It was dated July 7th, 2010, and it was entitled "Bird Toll Rises." I'm going to go ahead and read that for you to give you a little idea of some of the casualties of the wildlife. Roughly 420 birds harmed by oil have been found on the coast of Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, according to Ken Rice, Director of Wildlife Rescues in those states. About 190 of those birds were found dead. The species hit the hardest has been the northern gannet, which spends most of its life over open seas. Other birds impacted include brown pelicans, terns, loons, and shorebirds. A substantial number of birds harmed by oil are never found, according to Rice. Now, in addition, it seems inevitable, as the busted pipeline continues to spew out oil, that it's gradually going to work its way over to Florida and the Florida coastlines. So, and that's where a lot of the manatee, which is a type of a walrus, they reside. That's their home area. So, and they're going to be impacted. Many efforts are being addressed to try and cap the busted pipeline that's spewing out, and we're getting estimates of anywhere from 500,000 gallons to 1,000,000 gallons a day. Unfortunately, it hasn't been capped since it originally busted April 20th, 2010. It's almost 3 months now. But now I'd like to turn to those families and communities at ground zero. So the second issue I want to share with everyone are some facts about how the areas directly affected are dealing with the financial aspect of this devastation. British Petroleum Corporation has offered online claims forms, but compensation does not equate anything equivalent to what they ordinarily would be making had they still been able to go out and fish and do their normal work. The following are rounded off figures found in an article in the USA Today entitled BP's payments help but don't match the loss. Some of those figures are over $158 million has been paid out to a lot of the people that have made claims. And the claims that have been made are nearly 100,000 total claims. About half of them which have been paid and half of them haven't. It's hard to believe that that kind of money is barely even helping. Now, from another angle, of cash flow in the economy, let me bring this crisis closer to home. And as I switch over to that topic, I'm going to change this slide to another slide, which is right here. So again, to bring the perspective a little closer to home, I'd like to address some of these final facts that I'll share with you. And that's how we will be economically impacted seeing prices of seafood gradually increase. Like any other businesses, when they take a hit, we take a hit. This is currently the largest travesty, an ecological travesty, that we've ever had in this world. Let me read to you some alarming statistics from an article I found in Sports Illustrated entitled 7 Days in the Life of a Catastrophe. It was reported by Gary Smith while he was in New Orleans recently. And it reads as follows. 15,000 of the crenulated coastline in a state 130 miles wide, that's what those marsh islands had wrought. That's what spawned more than 1 billion pounds of seafood a year, 52 million pounds of crab, 12,000 Louisiana commercial fishermen, 572,000 recreational fishermen, and a zillion grams of omega-3 fatty acids unclogging American arteries every year. I was in Cincinnati about 3 weeks ago. I went to a seafood restaurant, and the gal that came up, the waitress that came up to us, the first thing she did when she announced about the catch of the day that the restaurant served was to tell us that they get their catch of the days flown in daily. But she wanted to make sure that we knew that none of it came from the Gulf. I mean, and that's pretty alarming. It hasn't even been 3 months, and already that's the first thing, even here in the Midwest, that's being brought up. It just seems like that's the top of the list that patrons want to know about. So, as you can see, this directly relates to us, especially since we all live here in the States. As a final note, I hope that everyone has been able to better understand, to get a better understanding of just how much this really affects us, and the loss of wildlife, the families and communities, and the economic factor that we all play a part in, and we see right here in Indiana. Again, I apologize for displaying such horrific images, but this is reality, and it shouldn't be swept under the rug. So thank you, and have a good evening.